This is an iHeart podcast.
Hello. Malcolm Gladwell here from Revisionist History. Did you know T-Mobile for Business has an awards show specifically for their customers? It's happening October 20th in sunny Orlando, Florida, and I'm encouraging you, yes, you, to enter. This event honors outside-the-box thinking that changes industries, communities, and even the world. And if that doesn't sound great already, I'll be there as the keynote speaker. If your company did something next level using T-Mobile for Business, you're eligible. Entries close July 31st, so head to T-Mobile.com/enter to learn more and nominate your team.
Wells Fargo seeks broad impact in their communities, focused on supporting customers and communities through housing affordability, small business growth, financial health, and more. Donated over $2 billion to strengthen local communities over the last 5 years. Wells Fargo, the bank of doing. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/say-do. Support includes contributions from Wells Fargo & Company, Wells Fargo Bank N.A., and the Wells Fargo Foundation.
Hello, from Wonder Media Network, I'm Jenny Kaplan, and this is Womanica. This month we're talking about outsiders, women who marched to the beat of their own drum and rejected stereotypes about what women should be. They're aesthetic pioneers, norm benders, and often one of the only women in their field. In a nightclub in New York's East Village stands a woman. The crowd is rowdy, the energy electric. In one hand, she holds the microphone, and in the other, a book of poetry. She starts.
16 and time to pay off. I get this job in a piss factory inspecting pipe. 40 hours, $36 a week, but it's a paycheck, Jack. It's so hot in here. Hot like...
It's the final show at the legendary CBGB's, and she's giving one last raucous performance. But more than 30 years earlier, in that same club, she was just breaking into the scene, blending punk rock with poetry to become a force of nature. Let's talk about Patti Smith. Patti Smith was born on December 30th, 1946 in Chicago to a lower-middle-class family. Her father worked at a factory and her mother was a waitress. Her parents had 3 more children and raised the family in a small house in New Jersey. When Patti was 20 years old and studying to become a teacher, she became pregnant and decided to put the baby up for adoption. That decision marked a turning point. Patti left college and moved to New York in pursuit of an artistic life. She began a relationship with photographer Robert Mapplethorpe. The romantic part of their relationship ended after a few years when Robert realized he was gay. The two remained friends and collaborators as they both forged their own artistic paths. Patti painted, drew, and even acted in plays, but her real passion was her poetry. Her writing was raw, and her reads were frenetic. A sharp contrast to the more refined style of New York's poetry circles. Uninterested in the conventional literary scene, Patti found alternative venues for her work. She started reading her poems in rock clubs across the city, performing as the opening act for blues or rock bands. Her poems weren't always well received, so she decided to change up her style yet again, this time with a little help from her friend Lenny Kaye. The plan was for Lenny to provide musical accompaniment to Patti's unrestrained poetry. The result would change both of their lives. On February 10, 1971, Patti and Lenny took the stage at St. Mark's Church. Lenny strummed along as Patti belted out the words to her poems. One of the poems she read that night was Oath.
Christ died for somebody's sins, but not mine. Melting in a pot of thieves, wild card up the sleeve, thick heart of stone, my sins my own.
The poem was inspired by leaving behind her religious upbringing and would later become the opening lines to her song Gloria. The St. Mark's Church gig would go down as the first Patti Smith show. For the next 4 years, Patti continued to perform across New York City, expanding her backing band to form the Patti Smith Group. In the spring of 1975, the group was given a 2-month residency at the rock club CBGB's alongside the proto-punk band Television. The club was packed, and Patti soon caught the attention of record producers. In the fall of 1975, Patti Smith released her first album, Horses. The songs were full of Patti's prose. Lyrics touching on alienation, exile, and inequity served as the perfect precursor to the punk movement. Patti spent the rest of the 70s wowing the world with her stage presence and lyrical depth. The Patti Smith Group released 3 more albums together: Radio Ethiopia, Easter, and Wave. Easter, the band's most commercially successful album, included the song Because the Night, co-written with Bruce Springsteen. At the height of her career, Patti decided to take a different path: motherhood. She moved to Michigan with her husband, MC5's guitarist Fred Sonic Smith, to raise their 2 children. For 15 years, Patti lived a simple life outside of the public eye, but it was still a creative one. She woke up every morning before her children to write. But then, after the deaths of her husband, her brother, and her longtime friend and collaborator, Robert Mapplethorpe, Patti entered another act. She published The Coral Sea in homage to Robert and reunited with her band. In 1996, she released the album Gone Again. Patti continued to release music and poetry for decades. She cemented her status as the godmother of punk in 2006 when she performed a more than 3-hour concert for CBGB's final show. In 2010, Patti released her memoir, Just Kids, which recounts her relationship with Robert. The work was deeply personal and took Patti years to write. Her hard work paid off, and Just Kids won the 2010 National Book Award for Nonfiction. Today, Patti Smith still writes and performs, but now through a different medium, her Substack. She shares her musings and poems while also advocating for human rights, environmental causes, and free expression. From the dim clubs of New York to the halls of literary fame, Patti Smith forged a path that defied labels. Her legacy isn't just in the songs she sang or the poems she penned, but in the courage she gave others to speak, scream, and sing their truth. All month, we've been talking about outsiders. For more information, find us on Facebook and Instagram at Womanica Podcast. Special thanks to Liz Kaplan, my favorite sister and co-creator. Tune in tomorrow for the start of a brand new theme. Talk to you then.
In 2012, 16-year-old Brian Herrera was gunned down in broad daylight on his way to do homework. No suspects, no witnesses, no justice.
I would ask my husband, do you want me to stop? He was like, no, keep fighting.
After nearly a decade, a breakthrough changed everything. This is Cold Case Files Miami, stories of families who never stopped fighting. Listen to Cold Case Files Miami on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcasts.
From iHeart Podcast. Before social media, before cable news, there was Alan Berg.
He was the first and the original shock jock.
That scratchy, irreverent kind of way of talking to people and telling them that you're an idiot and I'm going to hang up on you.
This is Live Wire, the loud life and shocking murder of Alan Berg.
And he pointed to the Denver phone book and said, well, there are probably 2 million suspects.
Listen on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is an iHeart podcast.